is a beautiful start to the day, isn't it? I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk on a Wednesday morning. It is Wednesday morning, May 11th, 8:01 in the morning. I hope you're having a great start to the day. At least we know weather-wise it is. But there are some big stories that we are tracking in the world of weather. Let's start with the top two things I want you to know. First and foremost, the beaches are just downright dangerous. I was out there yesterday with the First Warning Weather Lab. Yeah, tracking this. And you would see people walking right out to the jetty, turning right around and coming back, or walking all the way down and just getting completely soaked because of the very large waves coming on through. You saw people going out to the end of the inlet on their jet skis, seeing how big the waves were, and turning back around. And then, of course, as we track these dangerous beach conditions, we have to track the storm system associated with it. So that's number one. Number two, summer's coming. Yeah, did you know that? Summer right around the corner. We've got big heat, and we've even got rain chances right around the corner. So we'll chat all about that. But first and foremost, let's get you out the door on a beautiful start. You could see some darker clouds here in Brevard. There are a few showers that we're tracking in this area. So let's come right over to our first warning live Doppler radar and see what's doing. Yeah, some showers into Brevard County. Let's zoom you in a little bit on our live radar sweep. The good news is we're not tracking anything strong, nothing severe, nothing like that. But as we loop the radar, you can see those showers coming on in around, say, the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, working down toward Port Canaveral, watching some of these showers kind of impacting you. Well, let me put this on just a live view just to give you an idea. And from about the Jetty Park, Port Canaveral down through about Cocoa Beach, we're watching some of those showers. And then as we widen this perspective out, you can see some more rains down around Melbourne Beach. That will be working down toward Grant and Valcaria. So yeah, today we do have a few showers in the forecast. It's not too bad, but it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things where we are indeed going to be tracking some showers. So as we look to our 12-hour forecast, perhaps the most important thing I could show you all day, it's going to be the mention of showers, but not an overly high rain coverage. Today, we're at about a 10% coverage of rain, which is, hardly worth a mention. But if you live along the shoreline, certainly it is going to be you that is enjoying that rainfall coverage today. Okay? 75, 11 o'clock temperature, about 82 degrees by 1 o'clock, 84 degrees by 3 o'clock this afternoon. There's a big storm system just off the shoreline of the Carolinas. And when I say big storm system, I want to illustrate the kind of storm system we're talking about. Keep in mind, no, we're not in hurricane season, but storm systems can form during the month of May. And as a matter of fact, for the last few years, they have. There's a satellite imagery of that storm system. It's not tropical in nature, but it is sitting off of the Outer Banks. Let me show you a video. This is a video posted, and I shared it on my social media page yesterday. This is from the Cape Hatteras National Seashore, okay? They said that 2 unoccupied buildings have succumbed to the damaging waves, to the large waves. Just take a look at this video, okay? There it is up on stilts, and you could already tell it's not in a good way. But watch that video progressing as those very large waves finally pull the pylons out from underneath. Yeah. And the house goes. They always say you can't fool with Mother Nature, right? But there's so much more to that statement. The ocean will always win. And that is something mariners, beach goers, we all need to know, is that the ocean will always, always win. We heard this was an unoccupied house, but nevertheless, when you see something like that, that's just not ever something that you want to deal with, right? I mean, it's a terrible loss no matter how you slice it. And it just goes to show you that you don't need a named tropical system. You just don't need a named tropical system to get impact. And I think that that's one of those things new residents really need to know, is that systems that are coming through oceanic areas, they each have their own personality, right? They really do. So looking over these next few days, just take a look at some of these ocean conditions, okay? I think today is going to be the big day. Seas for the boaters running 7 to 11 feet. Could even see higher seas than that. Beach breakers running 6 to 9 feet. We have high surf advisories, high risk of rip currents, gusty winds, the whole nine. Looking ahead to tomorrow, 5 to 9 foot seas offshore, breakers running 4 to 6, and then Friday into Saturday. As the actual storm system gets here, it's going to back down the wave action, but it's going to increase our rain coverage, okay? So just keep in mind, this storm system very much is a part of our forecast picture. So how does this play out? You know what? Give me 2 seconds. I loaded this graphic, but I want to load another one. Okay. All right, so here's the graphic that I want to show you. So here we are tracking that interesting area of low pressure off the shoreline. Watch over the next couple of days as it kind of works in our direction. It looks like it's going to want to kind of come in around Florida's first coast, like Florida, Georgia coastline, and it's going to bring with it a lot of moisture. You know, we're going to rise our rain chances across central Florida. And then as it kind of starts to lift to the north, something interesting is going to happen. As it lifts to the north, it's turning our winds around. So first, notice rain chances over the next couple of days. Today, we're going with a fairly low-end 10% coverage, but tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, depending on the exact pathway of that area of low pressure, we're going to watch that rain chance rise. But as it starts to lift to the north, watch what happens with our afternoon high temperatures. They go from being so comfortable, we've had lower humidity. Once it throws humidity and moisture back, we're already back to 87 degrees by Friday and 90 degrees by Saturday. And then we get in above and above and above. And those temperatures, they will keep going from there. So yeah, enjoy today's weather while you can. Here's a look if you're heading out to the attractions. I'd love to be doing that. I wonder how I could weasel my way into working at Epcot today. Yeah, 84 degrees or so by 3 o'clock. It's going to stay breezy. It's going to stay beautiful. And then this evening, those temperatures are going to drop off from there. So what does the 7-day forecast look like? And then we can, of course, dive in. There's a lot of dynamics I want to look at. I want to look at the models and all that stuff. But just want to point out, and we talked a lot about this yesterday on Coffee Talk, that your Sunday, your Monday, and your Tuesday include building heat in a big way. In a big way. Yeah. In a big way. Yeah. 94. Remember yesterday, the National Blend of Models showed 97. We'll have to look at that in a couple of minutes and see how that's doing. But first, let me just read some of the comments and check in with you guys and gals. Tammy says, new residents, so many of those. It's true. That's why I feel so important to go over all kinds of tropical elements, all kinds of hurricane season elements, all kinds of this, because we all need to know. And if you're new to town, it's so important to go over these things. So important. All right, Thomas is asking, could we talk about the tropics? Absolutely, we're going to. Let me just kind of get caught up here on the comments first. Don't want to be that rude guy. Barb over in Wildwood, good morning to you. I'm sorry to hear about having to take one of the dogs over the Rainbow Bridge. I apologize. We're here when you need us. When you don't, you don't need us, and that's okay. Spend some time with your family. Do what you need to do, okay? Janice, absolutely sending good vibes you and your family's direction. Sending all the good vibes. Annie, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Eileen, good morning. Kenneth, good morning. Betty, Becca, it feels so good in Sanford. It does. Jamie, are the models available? That shows what the weather would be like next Friday. We have our daughter's high school graduation. So I would say at the moment, it looks hot. Yeah, we can eyeball the models. And let's do that. Before we do, let's do that before we go tropics. Okay, so let's just look. You would ask for next Friday. So this is the GFS. Okay, I understand it's one model, but it kind of at least gives you an idea. Timestamps in the top right corner of your screen. So you've got that moisture coming in this Friday. There's Saturday. Sunday. Tuesday. Wednesday. So there's Friday, like afternoon. Yeah, a couple of popcorn showers. You know, not a ton, but a little bit of moisture in the area. That's not too bad. All right, let's take this model, let's widen it out, and let's look at what's doing here. So what we're looking at, this is the raw GFS. Now, why is that? Before we go too deep, this time of year especially, we look at models every day because we're on the cusp of hurricane season. And of course, we've been doing long-range forecasting since March. We knew about this northeastern United States storm system, and then there's what we call the Floreaster should be the next piece of the puzzle, which should come out early next week. But let's just see how this all plays out on the computer models, shall we? So raw GFS, so from top left corner, GFS quarter degree, that's the resolution, initialized 6Z, that's the most recent version of it. Mean sea level pressure, MSLP, mean sea level pressure normalized anomaly. What this means is that we're looking at the pressures. That's how you look for weather systems. High pressure, nice weather. Orange shades on this map. Low pressure, the blues and the greens, not nice weather. Storm systems, right? Doesn't have to all be tropical, but storm systems nonetheless. Think of it when I talk to elementary schoolers, and no, I'm not talking down to you, but I think it's a really great way to think about it. High pressure, happy highs. Low pressure, like Eeyore, lonely lows, okay? So keep that in mind, all right? All right, let's take you through time here and just see what's doing. There's that storm system working our direction. That is 21Z Zulu time, so 5 p.m. Thursday. All right, so the area of low pressure kind of weakening, but moving through like the northern Bahamas and off of our coastline. You can see the blue shades there, okay? Continuing through, kind of fading out over top of us. That's Sunday. It's around, but not really doing much. And then into Monday, that's 0Z Monday. You see that little area of blue off of our east coast? I think that's the GFS's version of the Floreaster, trying to initialize this other little piece of energy that's leaving us. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That little piece of energy is leaving us. To me, that's the Floreaster. Do I think that the GFS has the best grasp on it? Probably not. It's trying to figure it out, but it's at least initializing an area of low pressure. And then afterward, the GFS is continuing to show right there in the Caribbean, kind of up toward the Yucatan Peninsula and the western end of Cuba there. You see that? That's Sunday 6E, so that's 2 a.m. Sunday, May 22nd, showing something of an area of low pressure and a decent area of low pressure. Okay, feisty. You see that? That's interesting. Full disclosure, the models have been kind of going back and forth on this. And full disclosure, I have not seen this model. When I looked at it earlier this morning, it hadn't run this far out. So a couple of thoughts on this. It's awful early to get a 991 low? It's awful early to get a 991 low out in the Gulf. It's possible. I did case study. There was a very weak indicator of something. There was a very weak indicator of something in all of the LRC cycles. I didn't put it in the hurricane forecast because I didn't think that it would play out in terms of tropical in nature. But that's Wednesday the 25th in May. If we were to come over and look at, give me 2 seconds, let me turn this around. If we were to come around and look at the BSR in that time frame, give me a second and I'll stop this. North Pacific surface analysis. So if we were to look at the BSR, and of course the BSR is the other long-range forecasting technique that we use. And if we were to just compare, okay? So if that model is Wednesday, May 25th, storm system in the Gulf of Mexico. Let me pull my calendar out because I have to do some simple math here. So based on that, if we were to look at the BSR for May 25th, that would be around May 6th, 7th, and 8th in the BSR. So let's look. May 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Yeah, I mean, so there is a very clear indicator of an area of low pressure out in the Gulf of Mexico in that exact time frame. So there's your BSR. Right? Model, BSR, storm system in the Gulf, storm system in the Gulf. Do I think it's going to be like all powerful? If we were to go one, that's the 6Z run. If we were to go one model run back, the GFS has nothing. That's the 0Z run. If we were to go two model runs back, 18Z, it has nothing. If we were to go 3 model runs back, the 12Z, it's trying to show something. And if we were to go 4 model runs back, the 6Z, it has something. So you can tell it's trying to sniff something out. Doesn't know what yet. But I will say this most recent run is the most bullish of all. Do I think that that's going to happen? I think we'll probably get something of an area of low pressure developing. But do I think that that's, going to be all so feisty like that? I don't know. Let's take a look at the European and just kind of compare. So that's the European. This is the control ensemble. And the reason that I use the control ensemble is because it goes out 360 hours, the same duration as the GFS. So there's that area of low pressure coming in this weekend. There's the Floriester kind of moving on out through Wednesday. High pressure building in Sunday, Monday. Now notice that's the European, and it's showing lower-ish pressure in the Gulf, but it's not like tightening up a storm system. I think that the European is a little more accurate in this. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, right? But it, I'm not. Thus far, the models have not been consistent on that, but it is interesting nonetheless. If we look at, now I'm curious, if we go to the GFS and we go to the ensembles and we look at, the ensembles are just starting to run. All right, so let's go to the very beginning here. So there's our area of low pressure coming in, and then that's Tuesday, Wednesday, watching the Caribbean Saturday, Sunday. So you can see there's several ensemble members, like what, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 that are trying to develop low pressure, 1 that's going bonkers. And interestingly enough, even though there's only 1 member on the ensemble of the GFS that's going bonkers, the operational GFS is going bonkers with that. Yeah, so it's interesting. Hurricane season's right around the corner. So, and since 2015, every single year since 2015, we have seen a storm. So it wouldn't surprise me, although I'll be honest, this part of the pattern is not something that I really highlighted in my long-range hurricane season forecast. It fits the overall patterns for landfall spots, but yeah. Where am I looking? So if I look for the Floriester, so interestingly enough, what I was trying to show you yesterday is after the Floriester, on November 11th-ish, there was a storm system that kind of came through a couple of days after the Floriester. And then if we look at the next cycle of I'm just looking at my notes here. If I look at the next cycle of the Floriester, give me 1 second here. All right, so let's compare and contrast notes together, okay? So this is my raw LRC notes. This is what I wanted to show you yesterday, but I was not succeeding. So let me do this, and let me just come up here to the Floriester. All right, so what you're looking at, raw data. Floriester, we'll come over here. Okay. So the Floriester, November 6th. You can kind of see it there. Gulf Storm System Floriester, you see that? So that's Floriester cycle day 28. So if that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So you're talking about 5 or 6 cycle days. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So like cycle day 32, 33, 34. And you notice on here, kind of had that right there, had some moisture for us around Alabama, right? You could see there November 10th and 11th, southeast trough. Oh, it's off the screen. It says Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana. So that's cycle day 32. So let's go to the next cycle day 32. And cycle day 32, after the Floriester, the next one shows cycle day 32 in that vicinity there. Look at that. In that area, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. So it kind of ties in. If there was something, it does kind of tie into that location. this is definitely going to be interesting to see how it plays out, right? So again, this is definitely getting into the nerddom of stuff. But you know, I want to make sure that you know what we're looking at, and we can discuss it. Yeah, have to see how that plays out. It'll be interesting nonetheless. So that's that. Let's see. Let's get to some comments here. Good morning. Heard the potential tropical storm system hitting late May that the GFS has been hinting at. It's a Kelvin wave that takes a tropical wave off the African coast. Well, yeah, we were just chatting about that. Let's see here. Lots of comments. The GFS is putting it way to the east. Yeah, Frankie, it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. But you know, I mean, it's May 11th. Hurricane season is right around the corner. Water temperatures are starting to come up. And remember that computer models are guidance, not gospel. So you can't take all of this imagery, you know, and just say, oh, well, it's gotta develop. It's gotta develop, right? What are the Gulf water temperatures like in that time frame? Brian's asking. Let's take a look. 1 second. Give me 1 second. I've got to scroll this up, and the internet is laggy today on my end. All right, we hit that. Hit that. Let me get over to the tropical data set. Okay, we do that. Just have to get it all turned around. I mean, you could see on the water temperatures, the loop current, for example, is already very, very warm. All right, let me widen this camera angle a little bit. Yeah, I mean, the loop current water temperatures look hot already. Yeah, 87. So it just depends. I mean, if you get that little wave getting in that right spot there, 80 degrees, remember, 80 degrees is the magic number when it comes to tropical systems. If they get over water temperatures in the 80s, you got the fuel. Are the upper level winds supportive? We don't know that. But yeah, we definitely have the water temperatures that support that. All right? So, yeah, interesting stuff. Definitely interesting stuff. Tracy says, I love this stuff. It's so interesting. Well, and this is how we're forecasting together. I just like to kind of show and explain. That way you know what we're looking at. And to be fully transparent on what we're looking at. You know, I don't want anything to get you caught off guard. On the top left part of the screen, it says first warning weather. You know, that means something, right? Let's see here. Let's see. You know, I was just reading in California predicted rolling blackouts this summer with all these new places here in my area. So wondering if that was going to bring issues to our power grid. The grids weren't built to handle 2 to 5 times the people in a year. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I haven't heard anything, thankfully, but there are certainly a lot of people moving here. And I mean, I've got solar on my house to be sure to provide for my house. Yeah. I did it because it mitigates my power bill. I did it because when I'm at work during hurricanes, I know that my family has power, and we got batteries for that very same reason. Sidebar, I literally just had 2 meteorologist friends in 5 minutes time send me the GFS. One person sent me the GFS. One meteorologist sent me that GFS and said, that's crazy. The other meteorologist friend sent it and wrote LOL. So those are, you know, that's where the weather folks are at, right? Again, you look for, when it comes to computer models, you look for consistency, not only from model to model, but also model run to model run. The GFS keeps trying to sniff something out, but it's not consistent. So maybe there is something there, but, you know, we'll have to wait and see. For right now, 2 meteorologists text me. It's like a joke, right? One says LOL, one says that's crazy. Okay? So don't freak out. But it's interesting nonetheless. All right, so weather as a whole these next couple of days. Mid-80s today, 10% chance of rain. We've got a couple of those showers along the shoreline. That's going to continue. For Thursday, Friday, Saturday, watch the rain chances ramping up as that storm system comes in from the Atlantic, the one that took those homes up there at Cape Hatteras. Then this weekend into next week, yeah, it's going to be hot. let's look at I wanted to look at the National Blend of Models together and see what they are hinting at for next week. Remember, yesterday they were saying 97, and today they are still saying 97. Yep. Late next week. Can you believe that? That's disgusting heat. Honestly, that's dangerous heat. You know what that also means? That also means that the station is going to send me to go stand outside and talk about the heat. God, I love my job. Most of the time. Not when I'm standing outside in a concrete... Not when I'm standing outside in a concrete parking lot with the weather lab and the exhaust hitting my leg while I have to wear jeans talking about how it's hot. I did that a couple of days last year on our hottest days. I was at the beach, there was no wind, and you have to have the weather lab running, right? To get live TV back to the television station. So when I'm standing at the monitor, you've got the exhaust hitting me in the leg, and I'm wearing jeans, and it's just heating up the jeans, and it's just like, oh my God, this has to stop. This heat. I'm getting too old for this. We're all too old for 97. Seriously, we're all too old for 97. Tyler, what does the pattern look like for June 9th in the Bahamas, looking to make a crossing? Well, I can't tell you about wave action, but what I can tell you is, if we're looking at broader patterns favoring kind of storm systems in the area, let's take a look. You'd think that I'd have this part memorized, right? I've only looked at it every day from March on. Yeah, early June looks fine. The pattern does show like the 6th and the 7th watching Texas and Louisiana. But again, there may be a part that I missed. This little thing in the Gulf, there are hints that it should be in the weather pattern, but maybe I missed it. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I love my job too, and it's going to be a stay-at-home grandma. Diane, that's a much better job. That's a much better job. Yeah. It's a much better job than anybody. That's kind of the best job, right? All right, friends. So again, watch for rising temperatures this weekend into next week. Next week, dangerous heat. So if you've got to do, outdoor things, try to do them now, this week, because next week we do get into dangerous heat. Okay? Okay, so what are we going to talk about on this afternoon's Afternoon Coffee Talk? At 3:30 today, we are going to dive deeper into the computer models. Brand new model runs will be in. Is it continuing to show tropical trouble late May in the Caribbean and the Gulf? Right now, they have not been consistent, but that's definitely something I'm going to want to look for this afternoon. So join me to discuss that. Then we're also going to be discussing the building heat. What's going on to make record or near record heat once again a thing in Central Florida? And then we'll be watching the latest on this coastal low. Have any other homes fallen in? I hope not. We'll update the news on that. Lots to talk about in the world of weather. You can tell we're getting into hurricane season because there's just a lot to talk about. All right? All right. For now, it is 8:29. Go. Be one with yourself. Make it a great day. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. See y'all later. Bye.